SeaWorld Entertainment is a major player in the theme park industry. With them having multiple parks across the SeaWorld and Busch Gardens brand, this is a chain that should be respected. However, they will never be the same. Recently, it was announced that SeaWorld Entertainment was changing their name to United Parks and Resorts Incorporated. Effective February 12th, the stock ticker will also change from C's to PRKS, and this is going to be very interesting. So why is SeaWorld Entertainment doing this? Why are they leaving behind the name that is so well known? Well, the answer is complicated. There are three main reasons why they are doing this, and it's going to have lasting implications for the industry, which include expansion, growth, and conservation. First, we will go over the most common explanation for this. This is the one that everyone jumps to, and this is regarding the name. So let's take a step back. The name SeaWorld Entertainment is synonymous with the three SeaWorld parks in the United States: SeaWorld Orlando, SeaWorld San Antonio, and SeaWorld San Diego. These parks are awesome and they have huge fan bases. However, the SeaWorld name also brings a bit of trouble. Because those other parks are under the umbrella of the SeaWorld name, if something happens at SeaWorld like a controversy, those other parks are not scot-free. It kind of affects them too. Society as a whole is becoming more anti-animals in captivity, or more specifically, the sea animals. We can see this with lots of news stories about the Miami Seaquarium, about Marineland, and all sorts of these parks getting bad press. So I can totally understand why the parks want to sort of swap their name away from the SeaWorld idea. Even if you don't agree with it, you can probably see why it's a smart business move. Getting the name away from SeaWorld kind of preps them for the coming culture of the next generation. Now that's pretty self-explanatory, but is there another reason of why SeaWorld Entertainment is swapping their name? Could we see more park acquisitions from this company in the future? I mean, the name is United Parks, so maybe that implies we will get more of them. Let's think. Is there anything that happened in the industry which should kind of make SeaWorld be a bit worried? Well, yes. The Cedar Fair and Six Flags merger. That is a huge deal. You have two theme park giants in the United States merging together. That is insane. So the total parks completely dwarfs what SeaWorld has to offer. So maybe, just maybe, SeaWorld Entertainment is prepping for something. Maybe they'll build more parks or acquire new ones. And this is where it starts to get really interesting. Now, why do I say that? Well, back in 2022, SeaWorld initially tried to buy Cedar Fair. Yep, they were going to offer $63 per share and had a value of $3.5 billion in cash to give Cedar Fair for a total acquisition. Now, this shows us that SeaWorld wants to expand their base. And now that Six Flags and Cedar Fair are one, SeaWorld is going to feel the heat. So what other companies could SeaWorld possibly merge with if that would ever happen? Well, there are two that currently come to mind. In the US, we have Hershey Parks, which mainly consists of Dollywood and Silver Dollar City, as well as other various attractions. They also take care of Wild Adventures, but they don't really add much there, and Kentucky Kingdom as well. The other one is Merlin Entertainment, and this is the company that operates Legoland, Alton Towers, all that jazz. So logic tells us that if SeaWorld was trying to buy Cedar Fair in the past, maybe they will look to buy one of these two companies in the future. I guarantee you this has been talked about before up in management, but who knows what's actually going to happen. So maybe in the future, maybe 5-10 years, maybe even less, we might see SeaWorld trying to purchase another chain, or at least combine them into this United Parks and Resorts umbrella. Obviously nothing came out about this yet, but it's very interesting to think about. But let's talk about SeaWorld possibly building a ground-up park. What are the chances of that? Well, I would say pretty likely, but not in the way that you might initially think. A while ago, there were rumors that Busch Gardens Williamsburg was going to add a Sesame Street dedicated park. Kind of like Legoland has that Peppa Pig section kind of right next door, Busch Gardens was considering adding a separate ticketing Sesame Street experience. It would kind of take over the current Sesame Street section as well as a giant expansion. A while ago, they also converted one of their Aquatica parks into a Sesame Place park, which is pretty interesting to think about. Completely different demographics, but they see this as in their best interest. So another Sesame Place park could definitely be in the works, especially in the future. Sesame Street is a child magnet and a money magnet, 100%. This new name is very interesting, and the time frame is especially cool to see. We see this right after Epic Universe kind of got fully embellished. Epic Universe is in the news. Epic Universe this, Epic Universe that. And we kind of are seeing a new theme park boom. People are really excited about theme parks, and I think it's very cool to see. We also see that SeaWorld is becoming way more ambitious in the last couple of years. They've added Iron Gwazi, Pantheon, and they're adding all these coasters within a short time frame. So it's not that hard to make the connection that they might try something new. They might acquire an independent park and put their label on it and, work their magic. If we were to see a new ground up park rather than an acquisition and transformation, it would probably be in the global market, the international market. Somewhere maybe in China, maybe in the United Arab Emirates. We already are seeing some there, so they are definitely trying to grow their global prowess. Now, the global company is a bit disconnected from the regular one. They are loosely connected, but the one I'm mainly referring to is the actual SeaWorld in the United States. SeaWorld Entertainment that operates the Busch Gardens and those other parks. Another thing to consider is now that Cedar Fair and Six Flags are one, they have a giant collection of parks. I mean, gigantic. But what about those parks at the bottom feeders of the bunch? If the new company of Six Flags decides to sell off those parks at the bottom, it could be possible that SeaWorld can swoop in and buy them and then revamp them. This is a very legitimate option. This is just based on if Six Flags wants to keep operating a park that provides a little bit of revenue, but not a whole bunch. That's what they have to consider. Is it worth their time? If we look at the name United Parks and Resorts, it has the word resorts in it. Now, some may argue that amusement park is a type of resort, but I think we can take it further. We know that SeaWorld Orlando is planning on building their own resort, so it would be very interesting to see if they added a bunch of these at all their other parks. It's been a huge trend in the industry to try to create multi-day park experiences, and if they add resorts to their park, it can truly make this happen. I definitely see the company acquiring some resorts in the future. They're definitely going to build one from ground up for SeaWorld Orlando, but that's in a little bit of a different scenario because it is in Orlando. But as for the others, they might acquire some pre-existing resorts and put their SeaWorld charm on it. So those are my thoughts on the new SeaWorld name and what the future is probably going to look like. I definitely think it is very likely that we will see a new park come eventually. I don't know if it's going to be soon, but I do think it has a very good chance of happening. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one of them and I really enjoy interacting with you guys. This is the Coaster Josh signing out.